Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are enjoying this weather. If you live in the Chicagoland area, it's absolutely beautiful. And it was a little rainy this morning, but it's better now. But I love the fall. That's my favorite time of year, all the changing of the leaves. And I just think the fall's great. And with that, we're going to talk about something amazing. Okay. And I couldn't be more happier to do what we're doing today.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about being frugal. These gas prices are going up so high, and I'm sure you see that across the country. And our food is going up too. And and the average household is making the same amount of money they were making before, a lot. So we really have to come up with ways to be a little frugal. It was interesting. Debbie came up with this whole list of stuff that we're going to kind of talk about some of them. But also the fact is, I was listening this morning on a Facebook page that somebody had on there about learning how to live like during the Depression, what they did for food and stuff like that. And I got some tips from that. But with that, I'm going to bring it over to you, Debbie, so you could start us off with something amazing.
Sounds great, Laura, and it is a great day, but I got to tell you a funny story real quick. It's that I had to run out and do a couple errands earlier, and as I left the house, it was kind of dreary, and then the sun popped out, and it was so pretty, and I'm like, oh, great, this is the way it's going to be. And then I turned on my street, and it looked like it was raining leaves. I wish I could have captured it. It was just unbelievable how many leaves are coming down. But I mean, it's such a pretty time of year, and we got to just capture this, and we're going to have all these other fall items and things that we'll talk about coming up in the next weeks that will be fun, but I am really excited about this topic because, you know what, here's the thing. Okay. We all work so hard. We work so hard for our money, and we need to make our money stretch like that. Okay. And I mean, I don't care who you are or how much money you make. Even if you make enough money and your means are fine, you still need to do some of this, because some of the stuff we're going to talk about is not only just because of the money, it's also the environment, and it's, conserving on different things that maybe can help, others, and also make it just a good example, because what we're doing and how we're managing this, our surrounding family members are going to maybe take a little look at that, and then maybe that'll kind of be contagious and they'll do it. And we got to teach the kids how to do that. And we got to teach the grandkids how to do that. Right. And I mean, a lot of our older family members and parents and stuff like that, they all know, I mean, how this should be done. But this is such a broad subject. Lori and I are going to be bouncing around all over the place with this. We've got a lot we can cover. We don't have it in any big order. We have it just kind of like in orders that we talked about. But number one thing that I do a ton too around the house, you guys, is turning off lights that are left on everywhere. I've got 2 lamps in here. The minute I walk out of the room, I turn them off. Anywhere in the house, anything that you have on. They even say charging cords to your phone. They say you shouldn't have those plugged in. You shouldn't have anything going that shouldn't be, because it's sucking out more electricity. And as we all know, the electric bills have gone up just as much as the gas has gone up and the food's gone up. So, we got to start at the basics, because if we get a good habit going on with the basics, it makes it a little bit easier when it comes to some of the other things. I also want to just mention another thing, and then I'm going to turn it to Laura, is that this summer I started off, and Laura and I both had the same cup here. This is the first summer that I did this, literally, and I've kept it going. Now, I do have iced tea in here, and I do have some some mint and basil and cucumber, but the iced tea is, I brew it though. I don't buy it, I brew it in tea bags, and they're green tea. Add a little aloe in there, sometimes some ice cubes and some water. So I'm not going and grabbing for a water bottle, okay, that I already purchased. Now, I'm not going to lie, I purchased water bottles. We get them at Costco, and we have them for when we need them. But when I can possibly have something filled and I can take it with me, that is saving and cutting down on those water bottles. And it's also good, so, and actually it stays cold. These things stay really cold. You can buy these anywhere. We're going to have the same one from Lifetime, but still. So anyways, there's one thing that I wanted to say, or a Brita. If you guys have a Brita, I know a lot of people can do the Brita and then just take it, because I highly don't recommend drinking from the sink. I know a lot of people think it's okay, but there are a lot of sediments and there's a lot of stuff. So Laura, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Speaking of lights, I just remember my grandfather, was saying, turn off the lights, no lights on, we grew up with that with parents and grandparents. house to turn off the light. They're like, yeah. When I get my own house someday, I'm gonna leave every light on. But
I
now
know.
I understand what they're talking about, right?
Right.
And then going back to the water bottles, you know what? You drink the water bottles and that's fantastic, but we got to look for the environment because of the bottles and everything and send them to recycle. But also, I don't know if it's just where I live, but I live in an area near Chicago, Midway. And there we have our water. I put the water out for the cats, and the next day it's slimy.
Mm-hmm.
And so who
Yeah.
knows what's in this water? See,
Yeah.
they find out, and that so, but like Debbie does this, she grows her own garden. She's got all her you have your spices, your basils and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's great. Now, years ago when I had a house, my kids and I grew watermelons, we grew pumpkins, we even grew corn stalks that year.
Mm.
And there's nothing better than a homegrown tomato.
Oh yeah, that's so good.
They have the greatest flavor ever, So with that, but now I'm going to go into a subject that everybody could understand. Okay. I know this is the biggest thing in the United States right now is going out for coffee. And I'm not going to name names of the different coffee places that people are addicted to going to and wait in line forever in the drive-through, but it costs a lot of money. You're talking what, $4, $5, $6, maybe even more.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make the same thing in your house using the Dunkin'. Oh, I'm not going to say the name here. I am talking about it, but using the coffee brands from these different places and make your own coffee at home.
Right.
Years ago, I used to have a cappuccino maker, and I think they're still out. Do you still have yours, Debbie?
Yeah, we got a cappuccino maker, and then you know what? We get the people have the Keurigs and stuff, and I mean that's way far less expensive than actually going, like you said,
And the whole thing too, the whole thing with all this that Debbie and I had talked about earlier is shopping around for stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to bring that to the coffee thing because I found a company now that I could order online. It's like a big box thing, like Costco or whatever, but it's called Boxed. And I'm getting my coffee, Gevalia coffee, which is my favorite. And it comes out to 47 cents for a Keurig cup.
Oh, that's great.
You got to buy a big box of it, but great. So you shop around, and I'm going to have Debbie go on to this because she is a great shopper. Let's talk about what we could do to be better grocery shopper people.
Well, can I add to that, Laura? My girls love Starbucks. Okay, I know we weren't going to mention, but I'm just going to say, and there's a reason for this. They found cold brew because they like cold brew, especially like this time of year. They found it. Aldi's carries cold brew, and so does Trader Joe's, and so does Jewel. And they have it in a big thing, and they buy each of them. One goes one time, one goes another. They buy it, put it in the refrigerator. They have it in the morning, and they mix it up, and it saves them time because they're not running to the coffee shop. But it also saves them money. And I mean, one big thing of coffee costs less than one coffee that they would have bought. So yes. And here's the thing. I got to tell you, for many years, I would go to some of the, and we're not going to mention names, except for a few names that we promote that we like. And I got to say, well, let me take it back a notch. Yes, I am going to, because guys, apps on your phone, look for the apps on your phone now from every store. It used to be that you would go to a store and you would have a card and they would track you that way and you'd swipe it and then you get your deals or whatever. Okay. They were like loyalty cards or whatever. Every single store has them now where you just put your phone number in and you are tracked. They track what you purchase. And a lot of times they bring you coupons and stuff. And even you guys, Jewel, which Jewel tends to be higher at times, they have an app that you can go and you redeem it and you get rewards and you get different things. And if you got to click on it and you got to do that thing that way prior to going to the store so that you get those values and then it comes off at the end of your bill. But that store is not always the one that has the best, but they sometimes do. But Lori and I are huge Aldi shoppers. You guys, Aldi's has the best stuff. And they're a German-based company. They're owned by the same parent company as Trader Joe's. Somewhere along the line, the relationship and stuff. the pricing there is so phenomenal.
Right.
And a lot of their items are made, their bakery is made from Entenmann's. I don't even know if you know this, Laura. You should probably do. I mean, their breads and everything. You know, their waffles are made from Eggo. I mean, so when you're eating these things, you're tasting them and they're so good. And I mean, oh my goodness, even their store stuff has gone up. And I'm just going to throw this out here and tell you too, that during the pandemic, when everybody was afraid to do stuff and you didn't want to go places, we did do some Instacart. And Instacart is fantastic, you guys. But if you're not realizing it, number one, you are paying a higher premium price for those items.
Right.
So if you're getting it on Instacart, it could be, you know, $2, $3, $4 more, or it could be, you know, $1 or $2 more, and then add on like the service fee and everything else. So if you're in a pinch, I get it. Kids are sick, or maybe you're not feeling well and you need to do something like that. It's a great service. You're actually providing a job for somebody. Same thing with Grubhub, you guys. You're providing a job for somebody, but I kind of backed off from doing it because I'm like, hey, I'm throwing money out the window, you know, it's a convenience, but you know, you guys, it used to be the coupon shopper. Lori and I have always been the coupon shopper, but it's the app. The app has got it all on there. And read your little sale flyers, find out who's got the best stuff. You know, maybe you're not going to go to the same store that you normally frequent every week because maybe another store has better sales. You know what? You got to do what you got to do, but don't go to 20 stores, because if you do that, you're wasting gas. We're going to talk about that too. But Laura, I'm turning it back to you.
Right. Yeah. About the shopping and everything. I did the Instacart too. And my daughter actually worked for Instacart. So it works. But, you know, going to the grocery store, we do that. We get the sale paper on Tuesday to our condo of all the grocery stores that their sales are going to start on Wednesday. And we go through each paper, and I see what I know what I need. And we look to see who has the best price. Okay. And water, soda, all that kind of stuff. And we go to that store. But yeah, we're retired and I'm disabled, but you know what? You could still do that if you're working. You know, do that at your lunch break or something. Have your kids help you do it. It'd be a fun project for them to find who has the best price on a certain item and that. You know, and going back again to circle back to all these, you know, there's a saying that's out there and it says, you must make too much money if you don't shop at Aldi's.
Yeah.
And the fun thing about what Aldi's did, and I've been in Aldi's shop for 40 years at least.
Me too.
You know, they started off just selling canned goods, you know, but the best part of Aldi's is all their gift items that they sell.
Oh my God.
People go nuts over them. They have the nicest bowls and pots and pans and all kind of decorations for every holiday. And they have a big emphasis on things for kids.
Yeah, they do.
These clothes they have, and it's just like in boxes. It's nothing big or anything, but they're amazing. There's even a Facebook page where somebody dedicated to all the items that the people are crazy about getting all the items on at Aldi's. I don't know what the name of it is, but so yeah, back to that. So then what was the next one we were talking about?
Well, wait, can I just interject something, Laura? This is crazy. I've gotten rugs from there. I've got a frying pan from there. I got mums this year, you guys. $3.99, and they were this big, like they were huge. I mean, and here's the deal: if you go in there and you see something, you better get it, because when you go back, you're not gonna be able to get it.
Right? Exactly.
Really, because those, yeah.
But yeah, it's just amazing the stuff there. I mean, even the kids love going to that. You know, and it's like they're getting a lot of stuff in every time. That every stuff. I mean,
totally
crazy for that. You know. But what was the last thing you said we were going to talk about?
Here's another one. You know, I just mentioned that online app thing about like different stores that have online apps, but I want to share a story. So I moving into the next thing, I think we'll get into gas, and this is how I'm going to lead us in for a second. You know, when you have your errands to do, okay, I used to say, oh, I want to get out of the house. I am in between clients. I want to go grab a couple errands and do that. Now I'm thinking much more like, okay, I need to go here. I need to go here. I need to keep everything in the same zone. And a lot of times, and I don't know, most of us that live around like more centrally located where there are a lot of shopping places, you can go in one direction and kind of hit a few places that you really need to get to. One of the stores I happen to shop at a lot is Target. Okay, I'm just going to say, now you may be a Walmart shopper, you may be a Target shopper, but for me, Target, I have their app and I like put all my items in my shopping cart that I want to get, and then I get them. Well, they don't charge a fee to bring them out to your car. And I'm like, so I got it down to a Nat's Fanny, okay, that I can leave my house and I literally can be back in less than 30 minutes. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer where I actually drive to Target. I use my app. I say I'm here. They bring it out, they put it in my car, I turn around and come back home. Most of the time it's a lot less, but that would be on the higher side of timing. My point is they are not charging me any service fee or anything to actually fill this order and do that. And then for me, for Target, 5% goes back to the school that Mariana goes to, because I have it set up that way, because Target has this thing. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons I choose Target over Walmart, okay, kind of thing. But my whole point is, if they're out of the item that I do want and they don't have it in the store and I'm doing it on my app, they'll ship it to your house for free. So it's kind of cool. Otherwise, you have to have X amount of dollars to get it shipped.
Mhm.
But my whole point is, the reason I do that more than anything is because then I don't go in there and site shop, number one, because that's easy to do. You could easily go into Target and spend 2 to 3 times the amount of money that you would have, because you say, oh, I'm going to grab this and oh, I'm going to grab this. And then I'm not spending the time in line and I'm not doing all this stuff. And before it was because you wanted to kind of be like not in big crowds. But for now, and I'm thinking, you young moms, you could have all the kids in the back seat and go get diapers and not have to get the kids out of the car. Lori and I had to schlep them in, and it would be such a crazy show. And if they're old enough that they could pointing to toys, and especially we used to go to Toys R Us or Walmart for formula and diapers. And, by the time you get all the way, and then someone's got to go to the bathroom and this one wants a snack. And oh my God, it was amazing.
I don't know how we did it, to be honest with you.
And these moms can go, oh, I got to go to Target, put my order in, have it in there,
I think it's great,
Yeah.
It's just really great. This is something kind of, that's been around for years, and, we just take advantage of the heat and the air conditioning, and the gas of that, and that's going up really high.
Yeah.
Turn the heat down a little bit and have you guys wear a sweater and stuff.
Yep.
Do it real low, but do it maybe a couple notches down. You will save so much money, because they're talking this winter where it's going to be astronomical about the prices for our heating in our houses and that. And I just remember that too when I was a kid. In Italy, they didn't have heat in their house.
Oh boy.
Talking about 20 years ago. And they had their heat was their fireplace.
Yeah.
At night, the kids used to go to bed with a hot water bottle until they were tucked in their beds to keep warm.
Wasn't it called a bed warmer?
Yeah, a bed warmer. Before, but I'm just telling you, take advantage of it, because every dollar, every penny makes a big difference.
Right.
That, and we see how our gas prices go up so much as far as for our cars. And like if you were able to fill your car up at $20 before, you're doing it at $45, $50, it's crazy. So when you're going to an event or something, try a carpool, and maybe you pitch it for gas with somebody. We're doing that on Saturday. We're going all the way up north to a restaurant. And my brother says, why don't you come over by us and then we'll drive. So we're not both driving to the same area, and like when you're planning your errands, like Debbie says, you'd kind of think about where you're going. So you're not going here and then going across down there, going 2 towns over that way. Try to plan so you're all in the same area, and encourage your kids to get rides home. Or, if you would be the carpool mom that takes people home. Because every penny counts.
Right.
Anything to say about that, Deb?
I was gonna say, do you guys use Gas Buddy? So do Gas Buddy to find out where your best prices are. And I'm telling you, I kid you not. I wrote down a block and it was $4.59 at 2 gas stations. I went down to Costco, and I do have a Costco membership card, and I'm gonna highly recommend it for a lot of stuff. I save a ton of money on my contacts, you guys. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I save money on. I'm not there because I want to always buy in bulk. That's not my purpose. I want to save the money, okay? And I have to calculate it out and all that. But I paid $4.13 at Costco when it was $4.59 right down the street from my house. And I looked at my GPS, and it told me it was 2 miles to get to Costco. And I'm like, okay, if I drive 2 miles and I'm saving that much money, it's okay. Now, if you're going to drive 10 miles somewhere else to get gas that's going to be cheaper, you're going to spend all this money driving over to get that. You got to make that decision. Is it make sense? Also track it, because there's a tracking system. I don't know if it's still always the same, but certain days of the week, gas goes up, certain goes down. Before the weekend, it goes up, you guys, because they know people are going to be, these gas stations, no rules anymore. I remember, Lori, when we pulled into the gas station across from Downers Grove North when we were younger, we were paying like 50 cents a gallon. 50 cents a gallon. Do you remember?
I do. I absolutely do. I mean, of course, the wages were lower and everything, but
Yeah, but still, yeah.
I think they were saying, I was listening, and this is not about politics at all. This is about our lives. They were talking about how, the gas is so expensive and that people can't go on vacation like they used to.
That's right.
Used to. So trickle down effect of everything.
Right.
You can't go on vacation. So what happens to the places that you go on vacation to? They don't have the right, they don't have the business like they had before.
Right. Which is sad.
Like, for example, and I can only go by examples, we had the flower shop, right? We did so much business with the flower shop. We would have survived today because flowers are a luxury item. Jewelry is a luxury item. So all these businesses are not getting the business they used to because of people that can't use this stuff. They have to cut down on everything, I wonder how Christmas is going to be this year. Do you have any idea?
Well, I do know that a lot of, I'll be honest with you, in our family, we're going to do something. I think that we've never done this before. And we're going to do more of a pick name thing. And we're not going to, like we used to be used to, but our family's expanding. And it's kind of like we're saying this might be a good thing. And you know what? You have one person to buy for instead of buying for more than one. And I think it's really cool. And I think that, we got to learn how to be more frugal and be more resourceful, and it's not all about the gifts too. It's about what we could do for people. What can we do to make their life easier or make them feel special? It doesn't have to be a money bought gift, and here's another one. Let's talk about shopping, Lori. You and I are the queen of a couple of these places. One of my very favorite stores is the dollar store. Okay, now the dollar store doesn't always have dollar stuff anymore. And it can have more higher priced items now. They've got a little kind of thing. But do you know the quality? I mean, I'm telling you, paper plates, I'm telling you, decorations, toothpaste, hard candy, you're buying for baskets to make for something if you're doing, you name it, cleaning supply. I could go on and on, Laura. What about the cool thing that you guys do too at the holidays when you make those bags and you go to the dollar store, you make bags to give to the homeless? I mean, talk about.
Yeah, I got to start doing that. We make bags with hand warmers you get at the dollar store and some inexpensive gloves, and just put some stuff in there. And we always put something that's kind of something religious in there also. And so on the corner, when the ones that are looking for money, we'll give them some money too, but then we'll give them this bag. Because
cool.
a lot of people don't want to give to those people because they think they're just doing it to get money. Fine, that's okay. If that's what they're doing, that's fine. But you know what? You as a person, this is your offering for them. So you get something good out of it.
Totally.
But yeah, as far as the dollar store, oh my gosh, we get everything from the dollar store. They even have food stuff, but all these people are on the canned stuff. So that's something you have to look at too. But as far as for a party and everything, and you know what? Let's bring us into another thing. Making stuff for Christmas instead of buying something. They have, being a florist, a former florist, they have so many neat things there to make stuff. And I know in the past, my granddaughter and we made some things that she could give for gifts instead of us
Mhm.
spending money to buy something. And I
Mhm.
think it's great because every year you get dated and then
Right.
it makes something different. I think I would rather have somebody make something for me.
Oh,
Because
totally.
their heart. And so and right now they're just getting everything out. And it's like, I wish I had a lot of money because I would be buying stuff left and right.
Oh, I know.
It's just amazing the stuff they have for Christmas this year.
But
So,
too, on top of that, Laura, Goodwill and resale shops. I am telling you, you guys, I have snatched up some amazing things, and sometimes things with tags on it. And I mean, it's crazy. I got a table one time that had a tag on it. I got a jacket with a tag on it. I mean, and it's pennies on the dollar for what they're selling the stuff for. You know, I mean, so be resourceful, because you know what? What is it? Somebody's junk is your treasure, or whatever the way it is, I mean,
right,
however you state it,
right. We go
you
to
know?
Salvation Army over here and it's great.
Yeah.
So many things. They have a lot of furniture there too.
Yeah.
Deb, we could talk and talk about all this stuff all day, and I'm sure you guys would probably turn us off because you're sick of hearing us. But you know what? No, we got some great ideas, but we don't want to make this too long. I'll take all these things that this list we have,
Yeah, definitely.
Facebook page. How's that sound, Deb?
Sounds perfect. Because it's true. And you know what, guys? Oh, sorry to interrupt. I was just gonna say, we would love some more interaction and feedback. If you've got something that you found was a great way to save money, maybe you found some certain, like, what do you want to say, coupon or way to beat the system to save money in some way. Please share it with us and everybody else, because you know what? We're all in this together. That's what we do this for. We don't do this because, Lori and I, again, we're just, again, two crazy chicks that find all this information out. We just, love to share, but please definitely share that with us as well.
Sounds great. Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing, all this stuff. In fact, I'm gonna send it to each one of my kids. They're living
Yeah.
on this is stuff that they would do. So with that, we're gonna say, have a great day. Enjoy the middle of the week.
Absolutely.
Deb, you want to say goodbye to everybody and we'll close out?
I'm going to say, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Share us with everybody. And, we're going to do our Friends Helping Friends closing, and I'm going to turn it to Laura to do that.
Okay, so I'm Lori.
I'm Debbie.
And we're Friends Helping Friends. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.